Oh, guys, I'm sure you can't see me. Can you believe it's only 5 o'clock? I'll just start the car and hope that you can see. I'm leaving my job. It's Saturday evening. Yeah. It's 5:07 p.m. and it's completely
trimmings for meat. I'll put them in the freezer.
dark.
Maybe.
Welcome, Karibu. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For all the returning subscribers, if you're new, Karibu sana. Feel free to subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video. Yeah, so let's dive right in. So this is what I did, I think over a week, and I thought, why not? Let me share this week how it has been, the ups and downs, and how I'm currently progressing. So here we go. So I was at a work placement center here in BC. So I was seated in the office. I was just trying to focus on my project. So if you haven't caught up, I am an international student currently undertaking my graduate studies, and it's intense. Yeah, it's been intense. That's why I'm very inconsistent. I was really trying to be very consistent with my vlogging, but yeah, it's just been really tough. We have assignments almost every time. We have group work, and now I've just completed my project proposal, so that's what I was doing here. I just needed time away in an official setting to be able to focus on my project proposal. I have really procrastinated it, I think, but finally on this day I just said, I really need, by the end of the few hours I was there, to have completed the project proposal, reviewed it, done everything, and submitted it. So that's what I was doing here. So my project is, my graduate studies, my master's is project based. There is an option. You could take a project or you could take a thesis. So in our class, it's kind of split in between those guys who have done a thesis and those guys who are doing a project. So being an environmental program, I really would like it to be hands-on. So generally, I had an idea of what I wanted to do even when I came. Like I knew I would do a project and I knew what it's about. It's related to my background. So yeah, I already knew, like I had an idea even when I started the program, that I would be undertaking this kind of a project. So I just needed to do the research and put it down into words. And then now, after sending the project proposal, the procedure is that you go through the ethical review board, because if you're dealing with any human participants in your research, then after the ethical review, then you go now to data collection and things like that. So yeah, so this is what I was doing. I managed to complete my project proposal. I sent it out to my so I did send it out to my supervisor, and I'm just waiting for the approval. Anyway, so this was the next morning, if I'm not the next morning, or like 2 days after that, and this is an interesting recipe that I discovered and I would like to share. So it's eggs and cheese. I know it has a name, I just don't know what it is. We just call it eggs with cheese. So you cook your eggs, and you don't flip it because we'll be adding the cheese here. So you cook the eggs, and you kind of create space at the edges until the egg ceases to be flowy. So you cook the eggs like how I'm doing in the video, like you create space at the edges so that all the egg is somehow cooked without flipping it. So after you cook the eggs this way, of course I had beaten the eggs before, like you saw, and I put in some salt, and then now I cooked it in a bit of butter. And you use very low heat for this recipe, because if you use high heat, then your egg will cook too fast and it won't be good for this recipe. So yeah, you cook the eggs, wait for the egg to seize, to be flowy, and then add the cheese on top of the egg, and then fold it in half. So after you fold it in half, you kind of flip it, and you will see how I do it in the video. It's just a very simple recipe, very quick breakfast ideas, and you know, it's very healthy. It keeps you full. Like we had this with some toast and tea, just the usual breakfast, but it's very filling. So this is where I was, because the eggs used to be flowy, I was adding the cheese, and that's a cup of cheese, grated cheddar cheese. I don't know if it works with other types of cheese. I've just only used the cheddar cheese for this egg recipe. Yeah, so you kind of space it out, and then you flip it. So you don't flip it, you flip it in half, and you'll just see how I'm going to do it here. It wasn't so perfect, but I mean, my frying pan was a bit small, but it works every day. It's just, you know, eggs come out differently every day, I guess. Yeah, so you kind of flip it in half. Yeah, like that. So you kind of flip it in half, and then you cook it. You notice the egg is not browning as fast because the heat was very low. Like I think I reduced the heat at this point. So yeah, you cook it, and then after a few seconds, maybe a minute of cooking on that one side, you flip the egg now to the other side, so that you remember the inside of the egg was not like cooked. It was not well cooked. So when you kind of flip it, it is not as runny as it usually is. Anyway, so as I was preparing this breakfast, this just came to me. This is the milk I usually use. It's 2% partly skimmed milk and has a purple theme to it, and this is what we are currently using and disagreeing. So I was sharing with a friend, and they recommended this or lactose free milk, because they also had to change like their milk preference. So this is the milk I was previously using, and it was 3.25% homogenized milk, and we had serious stomach problems every time we had breakfast. So we narrowed it down to the kind of milk we were using. So I don't know if it has been your experience, and how are you currently coping? Did you change to lactose free, or you know, did your stomach just agree with the milk you changed to? Anyway, so moving on, this was the office where I was in, and that's actually some bread and coffee that they offer to anybody who is using their resources. So you can imagine, like, if you're jobless, they know you're struggling. So if you're using the offices and their resources, tea, coffee, you know, it's just flowing. You use it. There's free drinking water. There is bread, you know, whatever you need, and you can take it even home. So I think it's a really huge surprise for me. I didn't know they did that. I've been there a few times, but I didn't know like that was being offered. So it was really like a good surprise that the government can be so considerate of like people who are job seeking. So guys, it's 9:02, and another day that I'm gonna be late. So we were both getting ready. I was getting ready to drop my son at school, and I was also getting ready for a meeting that's in 10 in downtown. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I think we're just going to have to wait and see. But right now I'm rushing to my son's school to drop him off. That's around 13 minutes away. Yeah, so let's see how the day goes. Nope. You don't use the phone when you're driving.
Why?
The police will catch you. Oh, you mean for the maps?
Yes.
No, but I know where we're going. You don't know where you're going, do you? Right now we already know the way to go to school. We are changing lanes without knowing what he's doing.
Mommy,
Yes?
I got my friends to help me. I got some friends behind me.
My God, look at this one, Miles. What is he doing?
Let's just try to go so slowly and make sure he's not going to cross the building. That one and everything.
He's not going to what? Crash the building?
Yeah, that way he's driving so slow.
Really?
And we cannot crash. They are flowers. They are
Street. It's known as Pandora. You can Google it, but yes, we have people on the streets who live around here, and there's a serious drug problem as well. So I made it to my meeting at 10. It was at 10. I arrived at that office at 9:59. So I made it. There was a bit of traffic, but I made it. So it was a meeting about a new job that I'm starting, and nobody really talks about the challenges of looking for work as an international student, because you're looking for part-time jobs, and part-time jobs are just rare. First, you will not have a lot of choice on the kind of jobs you have to do, and you'll also not have a lot of choice on, you may not get really what you're looking for, and especially if you're looking for like professional jobs. So not many professional jobs will hire part-time workers. So currently, I think last week they changed the hours of work from 20 hours to 24 hours a week. So that means if you're doing full 8-hour shifts, that would be 3 days of work. And that's manageable. So yeah, I don't know if I start counting how many jobs I've actually done since I came. It's just been a lot. And yeah, there's another one. So let's see how this goes. I'm excited because it's kind of interesting, and we'll see how this goes.